Welcome everybody to the Greenfork Food for Thought podcast. Today's guests are Vicki Braunstein and Kiera Kenyon. Both are amazing women doing great work in the community. Vicki is a therapist. She works at the Saratoga Center for Families, working with children and families. Kiera is an athletic trainer and a nutrition therapy practitioner. What we all have in common is that we use nutrition science to improve the quality of life for others. Together, we started a program called Food is Mood, which is a multifaceted program, but generally it is a program that helps people understand food and nutrition and its effect on mental health. So, welcome, ladies. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we've all started this program, Food is Mood, right?
Yes.
So, let's talk about it. Generally speaking, it just provides education about food and nutrition and how it affects your mental health. But let's elaborate on that a little bit. But first, Vicki, since Kiera's already been on, so maybe our listeners know Kiera, but Vicki, tell us a little bit about yourself and how we got here today.
Okay, so as a therapist, I've been a therapist, working therapist since 2016 at St. Anne's, which again, it's a really tough population. With trauma is basically the focus of that population at St. Anne's and where I am right now. We have a child advocacy center at Saratoga Center for Families, so that's really who we're geared toward working with. So in my work, I realized that a lot of my kids and families were like transgenerational trauma, and it just kind of like snowballed. And I also noticed that food was an element about both as a coping skill, quick dopamine hits, long-term inflammation and depression and anxiety, and also it prevented progress in the work that we were doing. And the problem with that, most notably to me, was that helps the negative cognitions grow, right? Like, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough, nothing's gonna get better, there's something wrong with me. And so when I decided to like really target food and like be curious about that, I noticed that it was like, well, let me just back up that the family that I did the intervention with successfully was open to it.
Yeah.
So that you have to start there.
Yeah.
But what I noticed in the very beginning was like, it was only processed foods. And not only was it only processed foods, Mom, who had this huge history of early childhood trauma, part of the trauma network for her was food and the kitchen, which I didn't know prior because it never came up because it was just, that's the way life was.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like this bad thing happened. That's not how she identified her relationship with food and her relationship with cooking or a kitchen. It was just, that's the way it was. So there wasn't like a trauma event, right? But it was traumatic.
Sure, yeah.
And it was debilitating. Yeah. So once we started to uncover that and introduce whole foods to their diet, and they were excited to do that, and it helped pull them towards each other rather than away from each other.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I didn't anticipate that part, which was just like this really beautiful, wonderful aspect of it, but also like in the therapy room, things changed fast.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, because the trauma work that I do, EMDR is very powerful and very fast. And so that when the body was there to support the processing, it was like, it was like, you know those cars?
Yeah,
you have to like
rev them up.
wind up first.
Yeah.
Well, it was like all of that, all the work we had done was like the winding up. And then I just put it down and it just went shoo.
Nice.
And it was awesome.
Yeah, that's great. That just goes to show how powerful food is, and not only just how it affects your body, but how it brings people together. You know, if this family is coming together in the kitchen and just cooking together and making a whole thing of it, it's very powerful.
It's very powerful, and this particular family's story is very poignant about that, in that the whole point of my intervention and the crisis that I was walking into as their therapist was that the daughter was going to be removed from the home, which is also traumatic.
Yeah, absolutely.
But because of her violence and because of her extreme behaviors, that was the next step to keeping everybody safe. So to watch this family who had this really intense family dynamic that was going wrong, and from my point of view, I'm watching a mom who really loves her kid, and I'm watching a kid who really loves her mom, and the way that their nervous systems kind of default to was escalating the other one.
Yeah.
So mom would shut down and the girl would amp up.
Yeah.
And the more she would amp up, the more the mom would shut down, and it would be this vicious, horrible cycle that was devastating and very, very what's the word? It was destructive.
Yeah.
To watch them take food, go shopping, talk about meals, and pull them together, and they're laughing together, and they're talking about what are we going to do for, it just was I don't have words.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and that's the great work. And I'm sure you have other stories like that as well with different patients and your own journey as well. I know that you've had one and healed yourself through food, right?
Yeah. So I was just talking to another client of mine too who has MS, and when I did that work with that family, I had no idea the prescriptive power that food had.
Yeah.
I saw how the changes were, but I didn't really understand the science behind it. I didn't really understand that until I have lupus and I was not able to walk. I struggled with profound headaches every day. I had trouble keeping awake. I had difficulty processing and speaking. But it was really the walking that kind of took my demand, because I thought, because I'm a runner, I'm very athletic and I'm very strong, and it was taking me down, and I thought it was a structural problem, and all my doctors were like, well, I don't see anything, but I think you're just old. And I just got that message over and over again until I was talking to a bunch of people. My friend who's a nurse who's from Australia, she's a Ironman.
Yeah, we were talking about her
Yeah,
before.
we were talking about her before. Her mom has autoimmune issues too, and she used food as an intervention for her autoimmune, and she was a runner too.
Yeah.
So anyway, she was like, Vicki, you can't get that. That's not an answer.
Right.
That's a default to nothing.
Right.
And there's no reason why you should be struggling the way you are. I couldn't walk up and down the stairs. I thought I had to sell my house. It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
And I looked terrible and I felt terrible all the time. And I did. I used nutrition, only nutrition. I told my rheumatologist, I'm telling you right now, I don't know if this is going to work. If there comes a time where food as my intervention doesn't work, I accept that and I'll do whatever. But until I hit that wall, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I don't care. You can tell me that I'm nuts, but that's what I'm doing.
Yep.
And I did. And I just did a high rocks. We were just talking about it.
Yeah. Turned it around.
Turned it around. I could run. Every time I go for a run, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It's this is really happening. I still, I'm like, is it going to be this time where I'm going to have pain? Is it going to be this time? And I'm really okay.
Yeah.
And I'm, obviously I feel very lucky, and it wasn't just a global thing. that I did a very prescriptive thing, but it's only nutrition. It's only food, and it's only whole food, and it's getting totally rid of everything processed.
Yeah.
And because it's not good for any of us.
Yeah. Food is medicine. It can heal, or it can be poison.
And like, I can't, like, there are words to me that only stories, right? Or only evidence. And I'm not a very flashy person. Like, I don't tell you, oh, I just did that, or I just did that. But like, I posted my first high rocks since recovering, whatever, healing, whatever. Because I wanted to make a point.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't walk people. And I'm not 20. I'm 50. I'm going to be 54. And you can get your life back.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't take no for an answer. Take matters in your own hands.
100%. And like, it wasn't just so easy, right? It takes discipline. It takes like diligence. There was a lot of faith in the beginning, right? Like, I was like, I don't know if this is going to work.
Yeah.
I might have to have a whole grieving process again of like, I gotta take prednisone, or I have to have chemotherapy, like, but I challenged that notion, like, I was like,
just swear, let it out.
God damn it. This isn't like, this thing isn't going to take me out. It's not going to make me fall apart in front of my kids.
Yes.
And I'm going to show them that there is choices, there are choices, and food is powerful. Yes. And I had no idea to the degree of that until, every day since I made that choice.
Yeah. That's powerful. And I think we all have our own stories. Kiera, I know you have yours. I've got mine, just how much nutrition has played a role in our lives, turning things around and making our best selves. It's food is definitely, for me, a huge impact on my mental health. I can tell when I eat a lot of garbage, which, I fall off sometimes. But then when I get back on track, it's a game changer. If I'm training for something or whatever, it definitely helps just turn lives around. And so with those lived experiences, we're able to share not only those, but, stories about other people that we've helped in our times. And so these stories kind of accumulate, this anecdotal evidence accumulates, and, we just go off that. But there is a lot of science and new research coming up in nutrition and how, it helps the things that we've been talking about and the things that we're doing. So I think, besides the anecdotal evidence, there is science-backed stories and research to back this all up, what we're talking about.
Yeah. There's different types. I just want to touch on two of those points. There's different types of evidence. I think we talked about this honestly in the last podcast. But so what we're talking about is anecdotal, it's personal evidence, right? And then there's evidence-based research. So what we're doing with food and mood is both. Vicki healed lupus with food. I healed my mental health with food. I would actually love to hear your story, Stephen. And so that's evidence in addition to evidence-based research. And so I think us telling our stories is so powerful, because I think oftentimes when I say, I help people use nutrition to improve mental health, people are like, oh, cool. And they might be interested, but they think that it just helps with the medication. It just helps with the therapy. It might take an edge off. What they don't know, I think a lot of people don't understand the profound impact of it, and the fact that it quite literally turned around an autoimmune disease for you.
Yeah.
You couldn't walk. And I remember you telling me that was your why, that you didn't want your kids to see you not be able to walk. You were like, absolutely not. That's not happening. And so for us sharing our stories, I think it helps people really grab onto the idea that this is a modality that is life-changing. And it's not just something that takes the edge off a little bit, but it's life-changing. I don't really have any other words for it.
I think there's more global consensus that food helps your physical body, right? I mean, and there's parts of that is very well established with athletic training, right? Like we know that if you want to run a marathon, you have to eat this and not that, even though that is good for you, it's not good for you right now, right? It's not going to prepare you to do the thing because your body needs to metabolize it in a certain way and it's using it in a certain way, and there's a science behind that. Like I think there's a consensus, like a group, global, I get it, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But there isn't that with mental health.
Right.
And our brains are an organ. I think it's so funny when you think of it. Like if you just break it down for a second and think about, your brain is an organ.
Right.
That we're talking about when we're talking about mental health, right?
Yeah.
Our nervous system is a very important system in our body that requires things. Our brain consumes at rest 20% of whatever garbage or whole food that we're putting into our bodies, just for baseline. God forbid you study for something or you have a high stress or whatever.
Yeah.
When you like really break it down into these, and then your gut, that's a whole other area, right?
Yeah.
When you just isolate those things, how can you not think about what you're putting into your body as either supporting that or being a barrier to functioning?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What does the brain need?
Yeah.
What does the nervous system need? If we're just talking about mental health.
Yeah.
What does the gut need? I know that there isn't a consensus about that.
Yeah.
And there's just sure. And what you were saying, Kiera, maybe a tiny bit. And what I'm saying is, no, it's not just a tiny bit. It's like a game changer.
Absolutely.
And you could do all this hard work in the therapy room and in your life to help support that. It's not going to do anything really significant until your brain is healthy and it has what it needs to function, and your nervous system and your gut has what it needs to function.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's like what I say during the food and mood groups. You can't out-talk a nutrient deficiency.
Yeah.
No amount of therapy is going to fix the fact that you're vitamin D deficient,
Yeah.
right? And also, you can't out-supplement trauma. You can't. You can do things to support it, but you also, the work that you do, Vicki, is also crucial.
Totally.
But it's both.
100%.
It's yes, this, and that.
Yeah.
And my hope and my strong desire is to have mental health therapists, especially, but everybody, be able to utilize food to support the work that we're doing.
Right.
Because we can't out-talk, and we all do have trauma, right? Those things still need to have that space to process the way in which we know we can heal from that. But if our system is all, there's no homeostasis there, there's nothing to hold on to. And that's what I saw.
Yeah.
I saw that. I saw just the looping, and the micro changes. And I'm thinking, we just did some heavy ass shit. And she's still in the shame hole. And it wasn't about perception. I can feel the difference with my clients, the difference between, that's a thought that's getting stuck, or my body's stuck.
Right. Yeah.
It's not the same.
Yeah. I mean, to equate it to fitness, we always say that diet is 70, 80% of, the lifestyle change you're trying to make. It sounds like it's the same thing in dealing with your mental health. It's a lot more than just 30%. We need to take care of your body, and then your mind will heal and your gut will heal. Let's talk about the idea of comfort food, right? So comfort food, kind of that phrase makes me think that people eat to seek comfort. And what is comfort, right? And what types of foods bring us that? do they always have to be junk food? Can they be, like a soup or something? So what is your idea of a comfort food, and how does it actually work, like, in your brain?
This is okay. I personally think a comfort food, I think a little bit, honestly, is just a part of what did you go to? What were you given as a kid to make you comfortable? So a lot of children, when their parents want to comfort them, they'll make them mac and cheese and hot dogs. That's my dad, honestly.
Yeah.
My daddy is like, oh, here's mac and cheese and hot dogs. And, I think of like bologna sandwiches, like those are like my natural kind of like comfort foods, because that's what I ate as a kid. That's what was comforting to me. Yeah. But then also, there's the piece of it that this is a job title that you can have, food scientist. And it means that your job is to make foods more appealing to your taste buds, so that when you sit down with a bag of chips, you can't eat the serving size, because it's made chemically so that you will eat the whole bag and then need to buy more. It's a profiting system, but it hijacks your brain, it hijacks your taste buds.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot to refine or rework your comfort food. So like if your comfort food is cookies, right? How do you just make a healthier cookie, right? Because you don't necessarily need to get rid of all comfort food. Food is supposed to be comforting. Yeah. So it's also just reworking that, like maybe a chocolate protein ball, instead of a cookie. So that's my take on that. Vicki, I know you have so much knowledge there.
Well, I don't have so much knowledge, but I do. It's not an area, like a field of area that I've delved into with research or scientific backing. I do know the food industry and how it hijacks all of us to be profitable and to have us addicted to those things. So I think that leverages people in this unconscious way. And I think comfort food really does come from an unconscious desire to just take the edge off. Mm-hmm. And the easiest things are typically what people go to. So chocolate or chips or whatever your thing is.
Sweet and salty.
Yeah, sweet and salty, sodas, whatever.
Crunchy,
candy, which, immediately gives you this like burst of flavor in your mouth, and you're like, and your dopamine. Yeah, and you're like, it's so great. And then inflammation happens, and then you feel like shit. And you don't know that it's because of that thing, because there's a delay. Yeah. Like if you ate something and all of a sudden you had gas, you would be like, oh yeah, that didn't feel good.
Yeah, we're not going to do that again.
Yeah, but that's not what happens with what I consider comfort food. And I'm coming again from a mental health perspective where a lot of my work has to do with helping people find healthy comfort choices. Yeah. Because we all tend to have unhealthy comfort choices. So I'm kind of like in that, looking at it from that point of view. And I do think that part of my job, and that's what I want other therapists to be on that same page, is like food is part of that coping strategy. Yeah. And we have to make it healthy and supportive of what we're doing. Because I do know, anecdotally, that I have really well-known, very highly regarded therapists doing great work, giving kids candy as a reward to do something hard. Yeah. So there's two problems, right? One is that, like, here's this, you're gonna feel great for this second and you're gonna be so happy with me, and then you're gonna walk out here and an hour later you're gonna feel like shit. And then, but also pairing, yes, there's nothing wrong with this. This is a great idea. Right. My very smart therapist told me that it's a great idea. And it's not a great coping skill, and I do think we have to put effort into figuring out our toolbox of comfort foods that are going to just gear us towards something else, but still satisfy us, you know, and usually, like, I always recommend this one website because she has like a bazillion things, and it's all like chickpea based, or it's black bean based, or it's sweet potato based in baked goods.
Yeah.
And if any sugars, it's like maple syrup rather than like 2 cups of granulated sugar.
Right.
So there are, we're so, that's the other thing that's so crazy. We have so much access to so much good information.
Yeah.
And so much access to not good information, and bombarding us with like, remember, it's right at the aisle when we were leaving the grocery store. Look at all this.
The impulse buy.
Yeah. Things that you know you love Reese's.
Yep. They put the candy right near the checkout aisle.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Stephen, go ahead.
I just was going to say, for me, like, part of my process as far as like reaching for those comfort foods is swapping them out for other things. Like, where it used to be like a can of Campbell's chicken noodle, because that's what my parents gave me if I was sick, and some ginger ale, right? Now it's like, I want homemade bone broth and like ginger tea, you know, minus all the sugar, minus all that sodium, unless I put it there myself, you know, yogurt with berries and a few chocolate chips after dinner for dessert if I have a sweet tooth. So it's like that dopamine fix that we all want sometimes. How can you get it in like a healthier way, or, you know, with more nutrient density?
Yeah.
But go ahead. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was actually, Vicki, just going to ask you to expand. I love the way that you talk about grounding and snacking. Like comfort foods. Can you talk about that?
That's another interesting layer. Like, a lot of trauma people disassociate, and even not trauma people with ADHD or just like whatever, tend to disassociate during the day fluidly. And it's very common to reach for high satiating foods to get back into your body, because as soon as you put it in your mouth, you're like, oh, my awareness goes from nowhere to in my body.
Yeah.
And I think it's an unconscious way to keep our nervous system like online, and our brain, our frontal cortex online, and in our bodies. And again, like, that's great work to do with clients, but I do think that that tends to be a driver for these high satiating, not helpful foods, is because we're so disconnected in our bodies at the moment. We're disassociated, not anywhere, to reach for that, right?
Yeah.
To get grounded.
Yeah, to get grounded.
Yeah.
Which I think is so interesting, because like some people doom scroll on their phones for hours. It's me.
Yeah.
You know, but then, you know, when I'm finding myself like just like needing, and I don't eat crackers because I don't eat gluten, but like needing like chips, well, that's a guilty pleasure of mine. I will stop and I'll think about that, Vicki, and be like, are you in your body?
Yeah.
Are you trying to ground?
I'm trying to get into your body.
Is me craving chips right now me asking me to pay attention to myself?
Yeah.
Am I feeling uncomfortable feelings, and is that why I want this crunchy substance? So I think that's such a good piece of knowledge for people to be like, oh, I really want some chips. I'm feeding for some chips. And then by the time they're at the grocery store hours later, maybe it'll occur to them and be like, oh, I am actually dealing with a loss of a friend, which happened to me this week. And so like, guess who was craving crunchy stuff a lot? And so it's just such good information to have, you know. I'm reaching for this. Oh, let me think about like, why else? So I think that's an important piece when it comes to comfort food too.
Yeah, when you said that, it kind of reminds me of like this thing that I used to have, and maybe still do. Sometimes when I get worked up, I get like anxious, I have anxiety, and I can feel it in my body. The two choices that I give myself are, okay, you can go work out, or you can eat something. Like, sugary or satiating or whatever. And it's just weird to me that those are the two options that are in my head. It's like, go cope with this stress and anxiety with some physical activity, or eat, both of which will give me that grounded sense of feeling, you know?
Totally. And, you know, trauma and stress are the same thing, right? There's nothing more to say about that, but it's really important to factor that in your habits and in your relationship with your body, right? Like, you will, in those moments, have an automatic, I need this right now.
Yeah.
And it's important to kind of piece that through, like walk that whole thing through. Like, what is that really about? And is it that I don't feel like I can tolerate this feeling? Or is it that I'm trying to get back into my body? And if I'm trying to get back into my body, what's really going to help me do that?
Yeah.
And then set yourself up to do that, rather than set yourself up for, you know, making it harder for you to actually be in your body. How many times have you taken a chip, started eating it, the bag is gone?
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm not any more in my body
Yep.
than I was in the beginning. And actually, I feel really gross.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in my body right now.
Yeah.
I feel like,
Take me even farther. Give me another bag of chips.
It's that instant regret. Like, it's been forever since I've had McDonald's, but like, you know, there's something about McDonald's. It's like, ooh, this is gonna be good, and then you eat it, and you're like, ugh, no, that was not good.
That was
Instant
awful.
regret.
Yeah.
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 Let's talk about the barriers to entry when it comes to nutrition, right? Like you said earlier, there's so much information out there, a lot of good stuff, but a lot of bad stuff. So when it comes to understanding nutrition and what's the word? creating a plan for yourself, right? And implementing it, that's the word. Implementing a plan. How do you know like what information to use and what not to use? Because there's so much out there. So overstimulating, you know?
So for me, I tend to look at universities and places that I trust, and researchers that I trust doing that work. So I have like a pool of things that I go to that I feel comfortable like getting information from.
Right. Yeah.
And I do a lot of studying, right? Like I'm always in some kind of
Yeah, you're a busy lady.
I don't know why I do it. So it keeps giving me more of those types of resources that I feel confident going to.
Yeah.
So I think for me, and when I was looking for nutrition was like, I have my personal training certificate because I worked out so much that I wanted to know what I was doing.
Right.
Well, nutrition was my weakest link. Like I was like, I don't know. It was like way too intimidating. So I feel like having a resource pool or guide that you feel comfortable with is a good way to navigate questions that you have. And it helps, kind of streamline some of the garbage.
Yeah.
Because the one thing when I was making changes with food was like, I'm not in the research room, so I don't really know, right? Like I have to trust these people.
Yeah.
And there's people saying this about meat, and there's this people saying this about plant-based, and there's this people.
Yeah.
So you're like, they're contradictory. They don't trust each other. They don't talk to each other, and I think so. And one might not be not true. They all might be true.
Right.
They all might not be true. Right. So I think the other part of it is that dealing with nutrition is like what external resources, but also listening to your body, like what is happening in my body. So I did this like really rigid year of food stuff to heal my body, and it did it.
Was it the elimination diet?
Yeah, I was raw,
Okay.
vegan.
Yeah.
And I did it. But there were still like issues. Like I was still inflamed and my energy wasn't that great. I was bloated all the time. So I was like, but my body knows, right? My body knows what, it's not totally working the way yes, I'm in a totally different space and that's great. So I do think it's a constant conversation with not just your external, but your internal. And that opened the door to me figuring out about methylation and opened the door to me figuring out what's going on with my digestive system and recognizing that I had blood sugar issues. Like it's not just the nutrients, right?
Yeah.
We're a very complicated system that raw might be great for me and it might not be great for you.
Right.
So I think it's that's the thing that sucks.
Yeah.
Right? It's like complicated, it's a lot of work.
You have to take initiative.
Yeah.
You have to have awareness and you have to be able to see everything for what it is and figure out what works for you.
Yeah.
And that's not for everybody, and that's why people hire coaches to help them with that
Right.
stuff. But yeah, it is complicated. You're hearing, like you said, like the extreme versions of everything, whether it's carnivore or raw vegan, and like people are doubting the benefits of each of them.
Right.
So where do I fit in? What should I do?
Right.
You have to listen to yourself and try it and see what happens.
100%.
It's frustrating because people want the answer.
Yes.
They want to know, what do I do so that I can just do it? And I tell clients this, I say this in our group sessions, and it's like, this is a long game. This is a forever game. And I don't mean just changing your diet. I mean, always paying attention. We teach in the group, like, if a food doesn't agree with you, you may not feel that symptom for 3 days.
Right.
Sometimes 2 weeks it takes to find out that when I eat gluten, I'm good until day 7. And then I lose my bananas, almost literally. Bananas. And so it's when people want to make food changes and you're on social media and it's carnivore versus raw vegan, you have to just initially, I say, like, feel what resonates for you.
Yeah.
Because there are people who heal autoimmune diseases on carnivore,
Totally.
but you healed your autoimmune disease
Plant-based.
right? And so I think initially just like tune in, find what intrigues you most and also what makes you feel safe. This is a big thing for me. I get real fucking, I can swear, pissed off. I already said the F word. I don't know why I asked after that. I couldn't control it. When creators, social media people put out there that if you do this, it's like super bad for you. I'm really against scarcity. I'm really against fear because food is supposed to be fulfilling. Food is supposed to be an abundant process. And so when you're listening to creators telling you how to do something online and they make you feel scared to eat, fuck those people.
Yeah.
They're not your people. Unfollow them, block them, because food should not be scary, ever.
Yeah.
Food heals us.
Yeah.
Sure, the toxins in the food and the heavy metal, like all of that is valid. It is a concern. But when you're just starting from step 1, trying to figure things out, just see what resonates for you, see what makes you feel abundant, right? Like, oh, like I will include more fiber in my diet and like I get to try new recipes with that, sure. And then it is a long game, like you guys were saying, of constantly checking in, constantly figuring out what works with my body. Because this is with supplements too, people. Okay?
Yeah.
This is with supplements too. Just because something worked for you at some point in time and it worked real well, right? Completely healed whatever you were dealing with, doesn't mean you should be eating and or taking that forever.
Right.
You have to constantly be checking in.
Right.
How am I feeling? What has happened? Guys, I am a nutritional therapy practitioner. I know these things and I'm still like, I feel this way. What did I eat? How did I not move? Did I move too much? Did I eat the wrong thing? Did I not eat enough of the right thing? And so it is always just a game. And that's why the group that we've created is so helpful, because we give you a blueprint of where to start so that you have the knowledge, so that you can start to check in with yourself and figure these things out. And we give you that knowledge. But yeah, it is a forever game of how do I feel? What did I do or did I not do?
Yeah.
Your body changes over time, right? Like
Yeah.
I am 50, could be 54. Like, you know, what was okay for me at 25 is not okay for me now, and when I'm 80, things are gonna also change, you know, and in between. So that's the hard part. But I also think what the group does that we've created is not only a blueprint, but people.
Yeah.
Because that's really the big part to me, is having a network of people that you can go to, that you can trust.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I'm new to this nutritional therapy practitioner idea, but I also saw what just global changes from processed to whole foods has done for people,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, not prescriptive, not, you know, do I have a methylation problem? Do I have a histamine response with this? Like, or am I sensitive to that? Like, that wasn't even, like, it, and their lives changed.
Yeah.
Right? So I think community and having people and resources that you can trust and go to when you're either having an emotionally difficult time with the discipline or the whatever part of it, or the, you know, confusion about it.
Right.
And, you know, I think that our group, that educational group, there could be so many levels to that.
Absolutely.
What we've done is just like this very little, here's hopefully impactful information for you to start.
Yeah.
But it's so much bigger than that.
It is. Yeah. Let's talk about the group a little bit and what we're doing. So you guys are functional nutritional therapists, right? That's you guys.
She is. I will be.
You're still in school
someday.
for it, but that's the term for it, right?
Sans the functional.
Oh, what is it then? I'm sorry.
Nutritional therapy practitioner.
Nutritional therapy.
The functional people, if they have that, then they can test.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it's a certification, or it's a degree of some sort, right? So you guys are both very knowledgeable in the nitty gritty details of nutrition, right? You'll be there soon. But we're not trying to turn everybody into NTPs.
Oh no.
We're just trying to give basic educational information. We do go over some of the details, what you guys do, of, you know, how different vitamins and minerals affect your gut microbiome, and they cross the blood-brain barrier, and blood sugar levels, and all the things that go into how food affects mental health. So we go over those in detail, but that's just to give people a basic understanding of what's happening, so that they can, you know, either refer to y'all or have that basic knowledge under their belt, so they can see something when they work with their clients, and, you know, say, hey, maybe try this, see if it works. And, you know, if not, if they don't have the answers, then be able to refer back to us. But so what are we trying to get across with this program here? We're trying to talk to therapists, community centers, all kinds of people.
So the groups themselves are geared towards people struggling with mental health, right? So to educate consumers of mental health services that there is a link.
Right.
Part of what's difficult emotionally and psychologically has to do with what you're eating. So group 1 is about a general information about that. Group 2 is more supportive of, like, okay, I get it. I realize that maybe I'm not making great choices. Now what?
Right.
Group 2 is about support and talking it through and making goals and setting them and figuring out, okay, so how do I structure my kitchen, or how do I structure my office to support me making better choices and changes. That's like the very basic. And then, as our program grows, I'm looking to work with mental health hospitals, therapists, really working, I already have relationships with residential facilities for kids. And I would like to be able to do more work there. But it's for anyone, really. So you don't even have to be a current client of Saratoga Center for Families to participate in these groups. It could be anyone interested.
Right.
But it's the only one that exists in this area that is pairing and educating and supporting about mental health and food. And for me, the really big important part is like the CAC, so our most vulnerable children, having a staff that's aware of the relationship between food and mental health and getting access to that. So we just started working towards next year getting CSA boxes for our most needy families. And then we're gonna have to figure out for some of our families what to do with those CSA boxes, because they're not gonna be able to do anything because some are in hotels or whatever. And having a camp that's at the farm. We have a relationship with Dr. Rodriguez, who is a food as medicine practitioner. That's another streamlined referral source, so that the physical end of their issues, because we all know ACEs, right? Mental health, the stress response, chronic, causes physical health issues. Having that additional support of a medical professional, also channeling and prescribing food as medicine. Dr. Rodriguez does that. And then on that end, looking towards, there's 1115 waiver, which is Medicaid allowing doctors to prescribe food as medicine, and they will pay for that. Mental health is not in that. So that's another area for me of advocacy, is to push towards mental health as being seen as physical health, and that we also, if you're prescribing an antidepressant, maybe we should try food first.
Yeah.
Rather than go to these, pharmaceuticals.
Right. Yeah, that would require educating the doctors on nutrition.
So that's another part of, so we also have a relationship with Skidmore College, and having the work that we're doing in this food as medicine program, food and mood program, is to have data collection. And one of the ways in which I would like to, grow and go forward is to have relationships with physicians. I already started, because when I work with a person and I'm, asking them to do food interventions, I'm also talking to their doctors.
Yeah, good.
And curious, what does this medication do to their gut? What does, why are they feeling nauseous? Is there a medical reason for that? Or is there a, medication reason for that? And having an open dialogue with them. But also my hope is that they start to see, they started to do this, and wow, things have changed and shifted, right? So yes, it's right now it's us.
Yeah.
And we have no money.
The super squad.
And we have no money. But yeah, there's so many ways in which this program can be part of the bigger community, and lots of different ways. Schools too.
Yeah.
I mean, schools is a big area I would love to at some point be able to partner with.
I mean, I feel like in general, nutrition is becoming more popular as like health and wellness has become popular over the past decade. But like we said earlier, there's so much misinformation and stuff out there, and getting it to a place where it actually counts. Let's talk to the doctors, let's talk to the schools, let's talk to the people that have control over what people eat. Institutions, the kids don't have a choice when they're at school. They get fed whatever the school can afford. And I feel like the public school standard, whoever it's set by, I don't even know, is junk. It's garbage. It's frozen food, frozen pizza, barely any vegetables, barely any protein. So there's definitely work that needs to be done.
Fried, packaged.
It's garbage. It's all processed. So there's definitely a lot of work that needs to be done in that area, and it would be great to be able to influence that.
Really, yeah. And I did work in a middle school for most of my time at Saratoga Center for Families, and I'm like, that was one of the things I'm like, okay, so this traumatized kid comes into my office, and I know her family life is like, it's nothing but deprivation, emotionally, psychologically, whatever. There's no supports, right? Here she is eating like this she needs to eat from school, and there's nothing real on that plate.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's going to happen to her?
Yeah.
And that is one area that she did my food and mood day camp thing, which I did during COVID, and her sister did. It was life-changing, really transformative.
Yeah.
And so again, like those, for me right now in the beginning, those are the kids that I'm like, no.
Yeah.
They need the support. They need the empowerment.
Yeah.
They need to be aware and have it shown to them like, oh, I could actually plant a basil bush on my deck in my apartment. Right?
Yeah.
Those little things that are really big things. So yeah, I think I got tracked off because I get really...
Well, you're talking about working with people individually, right? Yes. Where we were talking about the institutions that aren't providing them what they need, right? So at any level, whether it's individual, family, community, institution, education is the piece that everybody needs to have, whether it's an individual and developing that empowerment to say, I know which choice to make when I'm going through the lunch line, or if it's the school itself saying, okay, we're going to put better things on the lunch line because we know we need to feed our kids so they can be the best.
Or another idea, which, what if there was like a wellness day and the math and science teachers got together and they talked about food and agriculture and mental health? What if the PE teacher was part of that? What if? What if the English teacher was in there, and what story would this create? How would that change your story in the future, right? There's so many ways to integrate the way our education system is set up to work together towards supporting kids with information and knowledge and tools to be personally and community responsible people, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And the way that you can be community responsible is if you know how to take care of yourself first.
Yeah, mm-hmm. That seems like priority one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Kiera gave me this book, Braiding Sweetgrass, and I'm like halfway through it. It's beautiful, but one of the things they do in the native school program that they have is teach that kind of stuff, right? It's like a connection with nature and the land and the trees and the food you eat and everything. And I feel like, we don't talk about that at all. The health class kind of talks about your basic biology, but it doesn't teach you how to maintain that and how to develop it in the way that's going to help support you.
We are so drastically disconnected from our food. really in just every way. So I won't lie, I watched a TikTok one day of this girl and her friend had a lemon tree. She lived in California, had a lemon tree in her yard, did not know that she could eat those lemons. Like and kids aren't eating whole foods, oftentimes. So they don't know that you can pick a cherry off of a cherry bush or like just like in a planter on your windowsill or on your porch and eat that. So we're so drastically disconnected, and we're getting closer to like where my like fire resides, right? Is, food is really just like it's another form of nature, right? And we are just so drastically disconnected from that as a society. And so kids don't want to eat whole foods because to them it's icky, it's yucky, it's boring. They don't know the story behind it. Kind of, Vicki, like you were saying, they don't know that it grew. I'm reading a book right now called A Well-Gardened Mind. So good. Top 3. And I think you would have such a deeper appreciation taking a tomato from a seed, watching it grow and then eating that. And so even just incorporating that into children's worldview, which you've done, right?
Yeah.
So that they're like, wow, I made this, right? And that gives the kids a sense of, and not even just kids, adults, whoever, gives them a sense of, I am good. I made this. And it helps to switch, I feel like that like shame piece of, I created this. And having even then just a deeper gratitude and appreciation for real food and seeing the life behind it. I know we've talked about that, like the life force within food, processed food, we refer to it as dead food because it wasn't grown in soil. There was no sunlight involved in creating it. It was made in a factory and it's this like fake dead thing. Whereas a cherry tomato has so much life within it. And I think that's important for us as a society when it comes to whole foods, reconnecting, using it also as a way to reconnect back to nature.
Absolutely. And with the community, right? Like,
yes.
I was just thinking that it would be cool, like in high school biology, a project to be like, everybody gets their own vegetable plant, they grow it, and then they create something with it and share it with the class at the end of the
I love that.
Yeah, something like that.
Right.
We're never not spitting ideas.
Yeah.
But the camp that I did with the kids, it was a one-day thing. That was the whole point, right?
Yeah.
And we were gonna talk. Food has to do with how you feel emotionally, how you're thinking. It could be a game changer. And then they built these above raised beds from scratch, from just like wood, put soil in it, and they're dirty and they're hammering and they love to get dirty, and they were like, oh my God, I can't wait to see what this looks like, from a little plant to a big plant. But to watch and these are kids who, unlike myself, who grew up in nature, right? Like going outside and playing, cold or not. These kids are not doing that, right? Yeah. So to see them a whole day have nothing to do with their phone and not ask about it, that alone tells you, besides the visible joy on their faces and not wanting to leave, asking you when we're doing it again, says a lot. And the bonds that they made, these were all traumatized kids that, from different school districts, so they didn't know each other. And basically middle schoolers, and getting a bunch of female middle schoolers together could be really scary and bad, right? Traumatized middle schoolers, right? Yeah. Could be a recipe for like that, a bad day, a really hard day.
Sure. And
it was nothing but joy and excitement and beauty. And
I have full chills, by the way.
Yeah.
My hair is sticking
It just
up.
goes to show you that food is beyond just the nutrition
Yeah.
that it provides. It's, a way for people to come together, whether it's growing it or cooking it or sharing it with each other. Like, there's more to it than just nutrition. The therapy comes with
All of it.
all of it.
Well, there's a lot of in the United States, I'm sure other places around the world, but I know that there's a lot of farms that take people who have dealt with substance abuse issues, and it's like they work there, but it's a rehabilitation aspect too.
Yeah.
And I think that's true for all of us.
Yeah.
But especially, and I think about the center has Pitney Farm literally
Right across the street.
in the back.
Yeah.
And being able to be the person to build a bridge there, and there's this huge community of amazing people doing amazing things,
Yeah.
and we can both benefit from working together in so many ways.
Yeah.
And I think when we go to talk to other CACs and child advocacy professionals, you can do that. You can partner with what seems to be irrelevant, like farms, but it can be really powerfully directly related to the work that you're doing and helping support the people that you're trying to empower and heal.
Yeah. I know that there's been a lot of work done with taking troubled youths, we'll say, and bringing them into nature and just hanging out in nature camps or whatever. It's kind of the same thing, right? We're in a garden, we're outdoors, we're working with food. It's kind of the same therapeutic benefits there.
Yeah, and the other thing that the framing too is we are biologically hardwired to eat real food.
Yeah.
Right? Our bodies are hardwired to get what we need from the ground or other animals, right?
Yeah.
It's a beautifully designed system. And we just got interrupted
Yeah.
by, money-making industry.
Exactly. Yeah.
But, we all need to reset, right? I think this is a moment in time of resetting and reorienting and remembering who are we as humans. We're not detached. We're not really detached from our earth or our environment. We are part of it.
Yeah.
And it's important to remember that. But even on a day-to-day basis, remembering I'm about to put this not ever living thing in my mouth.
Yeah.
It just freaks me out to think about it. When you think about the life force behind food, the not living thing, it scares me. It does.
It should.
Yeah.
Like what even is it?
It's like eating a stuffed animal to me, a Beanie Baby. I'm like, okay.
Why would I do that?
Yeah.
But, when you're bombarded with that being normal,
Yes.
Yeah.
it's hard to undo that. I mean, even me growing up with a very conscientious father who ate to take care of his body so he could live, he ate, Whole Foods or whatever. But, so I grew up that way. But I also had Stouffer's, the dinners, and I loved them. The little corn,
Yeah.
or
TV dinners.
the TV dinners,
Yeah.
Or, I mean, just because that's what's in our community, right? And it's easy access and it's cheap. It's actually not cheap, to be honest, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
It's one thing.
You could, and this is what we talk about in the program too.
Yeah.
It's you could get a bag of rice, a bag of potatoes, a bunch of whole foods, and make that last a lot longer than buying the
And feed more
quick, easy,
people.
and feed more people than buying the processed version that is quick and convenient. Right? And it's just, and in the group we talk about how to actually make that happen, right? How to process the food yourself, and how to make it stretch for yourself or your family. So yeah, there's a lot of education that we do in that group. When are the dates? When are we doing this? How can people know about it? As we start to wrap up, let's talk about people can get involved if they want to?
Well, they can call Saratoga Center for Families, and they can ask to participate in the next Food and Mood group. So they come in pairs.
Mhm.
So October is the educational. It's 4 weeks. It's on Mondays from 6 to 7:30. You have the choice to do hybrid, so you can be in person or you can be online.
Mhm.
And then immediately after that is November. That's the support group. That's going to be on Wednesdays. So the first group is going to be led by Kiera, and I am support staff. And then the second group is led by myself and Megan, who is the director of clinical services for the school-based program. And that's 3 weeks. It's Wednesdays from 6 to 7:30, hybrid also. And those pairs will happen in the fall, winter, and spring. And we're gonna take time off in the summer, hopefully have some other programs and opportunities to do fun things like family dinners and things like that, and camps for kids. Keep your fingers crossed.
Yeah, there's a lot in the works.
Yeah, there's a lot in the works. There's a lot we are capable of doing. We just need funding for it.
Yeah.
But these groups, we're not looking for funding, but they're self-sustaining, so they're a sure thing.
Mhm.
And you don't have to take one to take the other.
Okay.
You can do whatever works for you. And yeah, that's how we're starting it.
Anybody can join.
Anybody.
Families, individuals, anybody.
We're not doing children,
Okay.
18 and under we're not doing.
Okay.
At some point we'll create a course for just, younger folks.
Mm-hmm.
This is really for parents or adults.
Okay.
At this time, just because the way the content is framed is really for adults.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And it starts next Monday.
Yes.
Next Monday, yeah.
What's the date of next Monday?
The 7th or 6th?
Yeah, one of those days. Yeah, sure. But if people want to get involved, Saratoga Center for Families, look that up, call, and ask how you can be a part of it, attend, taking on as many people as we can.
Yeah, you can ask for Teresa. She is the coordinator for that, and you can ask for me. Can I say the phone number?
Yeah, sure.
Actually, I think I know what it is. It's I think it's 518-587-8008. So I'll say it again, 518-587-8008, extension 300.
Okay. So reach out if you want to check out this program, get educated on nutrition and how it affects your mental health, and lots more. Lots more to come. So much stuff in the works.
And you can use your insurance,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah.
Yes,
To
it's
sign
not
up.
out of pocket.
Okay, yeah.
That's the whole
Even better.
point.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be money to be a barrier for that.
Right.
It's going through your insurance, it's psychoeducation, and a support group.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I love it.
Yeah.
Anything else to add?
Please come.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not to beg. But it has so much good information in it. I can't wait for the second iteration of the group. I'm gonna go and learn a ton of stuff from Vicki. She laughs, but I've already learned a lot. And Stephen, you just have so much knowledge, and it's such a good group that we've put together to help to start to educate and help create conversations within the group members. So the community aspect thrives a little bit more in person, just because we're at a table similar to this when we do it.
And I bring
But-
food.
And there's food.
We have food.
I do samplers.
Vicki is a wonderful chef.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
But we do, we have food.
Yeah. That chia pudding was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Like the vanilla.
So good.
Yeah, I love that stuff.
Why didn't I get any of that?
I don't know.
That's what it was, right?
It was
It
oats.
was
Yes, it was
Okay,
the
yeah.
overnight oats,
yeah.
the chia seeds.
Yes.
And my homemade almond milk
Yeah.
that I make homemade almond milk.
Yeah. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
So please come.
that's
There's so many wonderful things that are happening, and there's more to come. But if you want to get a hold of us, check it out. Show up. We'll be there
Yeah,
providing information.
yeah.
So thank you everyone for tuning in. This has been the Greenfork Food for Thought podcast. Stay healthy, my friends.